April 2nd meeting of the Conservation Commission. We'll start off with a Pledge of Allegiance. Steve, would you mind leading us?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call and appointments of alternates.
Joan McKibben, secretary and regular member.
Harry Manzigian, member.
Michael Croto, member.
Matt Hoffman, chair.
Steve Gannon, selectman's rep.
Welcome.
Thank you.
George Lavash, member.
Joe Corp, alternate.
Joe, alternate. So we're missing Aiden
And Jason.
Jason.
and Jason right now. So Jason's supposed to be here later, but until then, if there's votes required, Joe, would you like to be willing to be a voting member for tonight?
Yes.
All right, then, first of all, welcome, Steve. I don't know
Thank
if you
you.
want to say anything quick.
So we tried to, as a board of selectmen, we tried to rotate roles on the commissions every year. The only two commissions I have not been on have been the conservation and the budget. Not really too interested in doing the budget. So I said, I'll take conservation for sure, so. Gonna sit with you folks for the next year or so.
Great.
Sounds good.
Welcome to the team.
All right, and as there's no one here for public input, we can move on to new business, which we have, we're supposed to have a new conservation candidate coming in, Carolyn Carter, so she's not here yet, so we'll move on from that. And then we also had, next item was for the new slate of officers. We can hold off until Jason gets here for that, so we'll jump into the old business section. First item on there is the DeRocher leases. Joe, did you want to give a quick update on that? George,
George.
sorry. He's looking at
Joe could help.
I will, but
Right, and I'll give an update on it, but I don't know if I don't know if Jason can we hold
Yeah,
off
yeah,
on that
we
until he
can
gets
hold
here
off on
too? I'm sorry to push that off. Can we,
No problem. We can get to one we can talk about. Spring fishing derby.
okay, there you go. All right, so that is scheduled for May, it's the Saturday after Mother's Day, the 16th. Okay. We're pretty good to go there. The fish have been ordered. We're going to have another meeting before then, so I don't know if we have to like hand out any, roles or assignments or anything like that. The only thing that we might want to think about or talk about was, there was an email from Judy Brennan about porta potties, and they were putting in
Yep.
cement pads on all of the different fields, or, the ball fields to support their porta potties. Personally, I don't think we want a pad for a porta potty at the community garden
Yeah,
because
I don't
it
think so.
kind of goes
The
against.
question is, well, like last year, we actually had the porta potty over in the Parker Park parking lot.
Right,
So, we could definitely put a pad up over there. But I mean, that's a pretty level spot. I don't even think we need.
No,
Right.
the whole reason behind the pads is so they could lock them down.
right, and ours is for 2 days a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think we don't have to make the decision this meeting to whether we have the porta potty over at Parker Park or, near, at the top of the conservation, the community garden, right? But I think it would make sense to put it there, and they can drive across the field, depending upon field conditions, right? So,
I agree with that. I don't know if other folks have comments.
yeah, do you guys
Well,
have,
as far as having a porta
Putting a pad, no, we're gonna have to have a porta potty there.
Yeah, but it's only 2
Where
days
we
a
did it last year was we put it in the parking lot for Parker Park, and I think it was fine there, right? It's not that far away from everything. And well, actually, we could throw it in the community garden, because that's where everybody's parking, if it's just gonna be there for a few days.
right,
Yeah.
so we just, if the field is muddy, they drop it off maybe at Parker Park. If the field isn't muddy, we bring it at community
Yeah,
garden.
and if it's money, we throw it on a couple boards.
No, I mean money for the truck to come in. We don't wanna, we don't,
Oh, yeah.
Remember Aiden's,
we don't wanna pull an Aiden.
Well,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, the
And I
frost-
say that, Aiden, in all due
the-
respect,
the-
you know,
the-
it's,
The frost is out of the ground now already, so.
it's, it was then too, I think.
so, that's where, oh, and I haven't approached the veterans. I'll add that to my list of things to do, for
So your
possible.
comment on the porta potty, is there a market for stolen porta potties?
Tipped them over.
No, tipping them.
Kids
Tip
don't
'em.
tip
Tipping them, yeah. So they were talking about putting pads down and putting a bolt system with a lock. So
Okay.
to prevent them from being tipped, but then they can still remove them.
Yep.
No, it's not theft. I bet they wish they were stolen though at times.
Yeah, so, so I think we're good to go for the fishing derby. It's just, you know, I have to get the prizes, but it's over a month and a half away, so that's way too far out for me to actually do something on it.
Yeah, and we're good, and we got about an extra $300 in the budget now to support the fishing derbies.
Oh, yes, and we didn't spend that much, yeah, that's great. Okay. Yeah,
All right, yeah, we'll sort out all logistics for putting up the fences and all that
Right.
stuff. And, do we have a delivery date yet for the fish?
No.
Yeah. But it should be no more than 5 days before, right?
yeah, typically he's just a couple days at the most. We try to get him in for Friday, but he seems to have a lot of derbies that weekend, and we are smaller, or it all depends on his route.
Yeah.
So he's been coming in like the Thursday before, and, you know, we have to clean the fences a couple times. So we put small fences in the stream to keep the trout in this one area. And you wouldn't, so the holes in the fence get clogged from pine needles or leaves. And then once you get that much tension on the fence, it wants to bend the stuff. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah. The next item I had was 3A cleanup. We should really be getting this by the end of April before all the vegetation starts growing up, and it looks pretty rough, so. What are we looking at for dates?
Well, this Sunday is Easter.
Yeah, this Sunday's Easter. We can do next Saturday, or the 18th would actually be better. I've got some conflicts, if the 18th works for folks.
Do you have I am away next weekend as well, so I can't do the 11th or the
The
12th.
18th is Discover Wild New Hampshire
Yeah. There you go.
up in Concord.
Do a lot of folks attend that? I mean, if we
Do you
get
go
four
up?
or
Do you
five
do
of
to
us,
go
that
up?
should be good.
Yeah, we have a booth up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going.
I mean, I'm in for the 18th. If you said we just need a couple of them, a couple of us.
If we get four or
Three or
five,
four of us,
it usually works.
I'm available.
I could do the 18th.
We got George and,
I believe I'm available.
all right, so we'll do it tentatively for the
What
18th,
time?
9 o'clock, so we can get it done. Then we can correspond through email if we need to change the date.
I'll post it in 2 places.
How are we doing for bags?
I came across some in the file cabinet, but we might need more.
Yeah, because we've, I think we're starting to run low at the supply at the fire station.
I am not sure. I haven't been in the fire station yet in a while.
I'll check that out and let you know. You said you might have some in the
I have, yeah, I think I have like a cloth bag of them, I'll have to check bags. And I don't know what's happening over at DOT in Londonderry, but I'll check it out. I'll let you know how many I have.
All right, sounds good. And I'll check the fire station. Next item was the Dara Pond restoration.
Okay.
Do you wanna present?
Yeah, I'll present. Let's see here. Slideshow. Okay, so here we have our Dara Pond update. So, we had the, ice fishing derby in February, and we had 100 fish, 100 kids fishing, and we caught 0 fish, which was, an issue. I let, DES know, the people who were doing the Lake Trophics, survey, Maxwell Maynard, or is it Maynard? Yeah, it's Maxwell Maynard. And he thought that was kind of odd, so he came out and did some testing through the ice. And they did these are the things that he took: dissolved oxygen, plankton, CLA, I don't know if that's a chlorine sample, and he did some samples from the upper and lower water column. He said there was very little dissolved oxygen at the surface, and there was no dissolved oxygen down deep. And you know, that's not very good, and he's going to give us the results of the all the other samples in mid-April. I have to contact him. It was said about a month. So with no dissolved oxygen, that resulted in a fish kill. So what happened was this year we had very thick ice, 16, 18 inches of ice, plus the snowpack on top of that. That reduces the level of sunlight that can get into the pond. There's still actually growing plants in the wintertime, and photosynthesis does occur. So the plants during the day can regenerate oxygen. They will consume it at night. Because of the thick ice and snowpack, there were fish kills across the area, okay? Shallow ponds or ponds that are high in nutrients. So what happened is, after I noticed the fish killed, I let Maxwell Maynard know about the fish kill, and he's connected with Fish and Game. I could have reported it, but since I'd sent him the information and he had extra information, he contacted Fish and Game. And so I was in an email thread with Fish and Game, one of their biologists, and Maxwell, because Maxwell pointed out that in 1985, you could see the Sichi disc at the very bottom of the pond. So you could see 20 to 25 feet down and see the disc. In 2001, you could only see 3 feet, or 3 meters, okay, so 9 feet down. And this last year, it was less than 3 feet, so less than a meter. So there's a lot of nutrients in the water, and the water clarity is going down, and they are sort of concerned that that's a pretty steep drop-off. And I had given a presentation earlier where I had first seen these numbers, where our phosphorus level is 10 times the level it was in like 2001, okay? And that's what prompted me to start on this, where's the phosphorus coming from, and let's, keep the geese off. All right, so anyways, that's all over the place there. Like I said before, there's been lots of fish kills reported in the area. Round Pond is the pond on 101A over near the Cowboy Brewery. They had a massive fish kill. Flint's Pond, I just know these from fishing websites, on fishing Facebook sites. Flint's Pond and Hollis had one, and I was golfing over at Amherst Country Club, and every single one of their golf ponds had fish kills when I was over there last week. So it's unfortunate that it happened to our pond, you know what I mean? So the Fish and Game biologist weighed in. His name's Jared Lamy or LeMay. You know, we did do the milfoil treatment, last August, okay? They said that could have attributed to some of the fish kill, because what happened was we killed, plant material, and bacteria eats the plant material, and when the bacteria is eating the plant material, it consumes oxygen, all right? We did not have a fish kill at the time that we did the treatment to the pond, okay? So, but the pond could have had less oxygen because of the decaying material. Now, I said to him, I said, well, you know, we did that treatment in August. You have August, September, October, November for that material to be consumed. And they said it may have contributed. They can't say it did contribute, you know, so, I mean, it is a factor, but, you know, I can't say for certain one way or the other whether it affected it. So we have such bad dissolved oxygen in the pond to begin with that maybe that pushed us over the edge, but no one really knows. They really start in by saying, you know, look at the water quality level, you know, you've got a problem, you know, you need to identify, you know, where is this, or what's causing the issue. So they said that what we really need is to have a watershed plan developed. And that's a formal study that goes out and looks around at all the properties and any possible water source to the pond and tries to identify where contaminants could be coming in from, right? And they do water sampling, and then after you do all this study, they come up with a plan for, well, this is how we can possibly fix the pond. Now, let's see if I go here. So, I guess I already talked about a bunch, all of this stuff right here, so let me go here. I already said other fishing games, so let me just continue here. Oops. So the fishing game has a a page that explains sort of everything I just said. But if you wanted to go, or if anybody at home is, you know, listening and watching, you know, this is the page where you can go to and read up on why it happened, and it's essentially what I said, but there's more information right from Fish and Game. So the next step is, you know, can we get a watershed plan? You know, surrounding properties and nutrients. It does cost money. I was in a Zoom call with this Jeff Marcoux, who is the head of the watershed grants. It's the 604B grants. So he's the coordinator of these grants. So you can apply for one of these grants to conduct a water study. And part of the criteria for these grants are they have a list of all the water bodies in the state, and they're ranked by their water quality and also by the odds of them being repaired, okay? And we are like 10th from the bottom or 4th from the bottom out of the 400 or 200. I could go and look at it exactly. But so Dara Pond is really low on that list. So I thought we had no chance of getting this money. But after talking with, was it Jeff? I don't know. He said the big part of it is there community involvement? Is there someone who's going to be involved? Is this going to be, you know, is this plan going to be completed and come to fruition? So if you bug them a lot, or if you're really, you know, on top of them and you're really involved with the process, you know, the odds are good that you'll get the grant. And because I've already contacted DES so many times about this pond, you know, I've got biologists and the milfoil treatment people and invasive species, you know, so I think we might have a really good chance of getting one of these grants. He gave me a list of companies that do these water quality studies in the state. So I think the next step is to go through those companies, talk with them, see what they would, you know, what's their methodology and what's their cost structure and this and that, and, you know, get an idea of what we could possibly do going forward with that. There's also something else called a 319 grant. Those 319 grants, they require a watershed plan first, so we can't even think about applying for a 319 until we have a watershed plan. And there's like a 9-step process for that watershed plan. Then there's another thing, these CW, SRF, it's construction, water, source, something loans. When I first saw that, I saw it was a loan, and I'm like, we don't really want to get a loan to do one of these studies. Well, he's told me, what was his name again? Sorry. I got Jeff Marcoux. Yeah, Jeff Marcoux. So these loans, you only pay interest during the time that you're doing the project, and they forgive the principal. So you could get a $30,000 or $100,000 loan, and you only pay the interest for maybe the year or two that you're doing the project, and at the end of the project, they forgive the $100,000 or whatever the principal was. So I think that would require a warrant article, and so I didn't read into it deep enough when I first looked at it, but he talked me through it. So that may be an option. So let's say we come up with this plan, right? And then the plan says we need to do X, and then X costs money. Well, you can either do a warrant article for a loan, or we could do a grant, so we might have some options. The fourth thing is these moose plates. There's a bunch of different projects that they fund with money from the moose plates, or the license plates, the conservation plates. You can get 20 to 30K per project for watershed work from these moose plates, and that would be 2027 money, and again, we'd have to apply for it, but, and that's free money. Okay, I sat through some seminar with all kinds of ways to get money for watersheds, and that was the first one, and it was the only one that we could actually use, so, but anyways, that was that. Okay, so, let me continue on with Dara. So, I did some research on fish kills, and a lot of fish kills happen in small, shallow ponds, and a lot of times they say, well, you need to add more oxygen to the pond, right? And a lot of times they do it with bubblers, okay? They do artificial aeration. So how much would it cost? So I reached out, there's a website called, or a company called The Pond Guy, and they specialize in small ponds. And at 12 acres, we're a little bit bigger than most. And if you add these, we wouldn't be adding a fountain, we'd be adding these bubblers. And the bubbles start at the bottom, and they work their way up, and they actually push water from the water column up. So the bubbles aren't really adding oxygen to the water, but you're forcing the water up to the surface where it gets the oxygen at the surface level, and it pushes the oxygen rich level at the top down to the bottom, so it churns the water over. So I was very impressed by these people, and I have I'll show you a picture in a second. So it's kind of a big system. It's got 12 diffusers, so you would have 12 little bubble things out on the pond as spec'd by these people. It would cost about $22,000 to buy the 2 pumps, and it costs about $110 a month to run it. And that's running 24/7.
How are the diffusers connected? Is it just power going out to each of them?
No, so it's, this would have 2 pumps. Each pump is a compressor, or it actually might have 4 compressors. And I will show it to you in a second. So I placed the files. Everything I'm doing on the pond, I'm putting in Share 4 on our portal, and it's under Properties, Dara, okay? And I asked the woman who did the sizing, what would happen if we were to do a smaller system with only 6 diffusers? What does that add? I said there's a lot of, let's see here, let me see if I can go to, let's see here, LCC share, let's go to properties, and we're gonna go Dara Pond, and layout. Okay, so let me see if I can, so this is, I think this is kind of overkill, right? But I think what happens is with these 12 diffusers, you run like a 400-foot hose from you have your pump location, and then you have a distribution box, and that sends the stuff out. Now, I sent her a follow-up, and I said, well, what would happen if we just did the 6 deepest locations, rather than going out to the shallow areas, you know what I mean? Just for side, you know, I just want to have as many data points as possible. So she did stuff like, you know, here's the average depth, the surface, they did a really good job. You know, so they know the size of it, they know the volume. So, it would turn over the water, you know, almost 1.5 times per 24 hours. And this has been really recent, me talking with her. Like I said, I do have a follow-up. And so you can see, what they do is they have these weighted air lines, so it's kind of a thick rubber hose, and you can see they're pretty long lengths of hose, and they're actually quite heavy. So you can get them in spools of either 100 feet or 500 feet. And anything over, you know, whatever your spool size is, you'd have to put connectors in. It's just like a barbed connector that goes together. They recommend trying to have as minimal number of connection points, you know, points of failure. But you can see how heavy the airline is, at 2,100 pounds. I sent her questions like, is it affected by fishing? Like, you know, somebody hooks it, can they pull it up?
That's what I was
You
thinking,
know what I
if
mean?
a kid catches it.
Right, so there's a lot of, I'm not saying that we should do this, I'm just giving you guys data.
That light looks pretty heavy though, so if you're hooking that at 10 feet. I don't think
Right.
you're
So-
pulling that up.
You're snapping a line.
So
There's probably not many hooks. that
this,
can
this,
penetrate
this proposal that they gave me was 2 of these compressor units, and each one served 6, okay? So I thought that was interesting, and I thought I'd bring it as a data point. And when I was talking to Jeff from the water studies, because one of the biologists said, well, I mentioned aeration to him, he goes, I don't think aeration is going to help. And so I said to Jeff, you know, I looked at this system and I just got it sent to me, and they're turning the water over 1.5 times a day. That has to help to some level. And he said, well, most of the time when they deal with these aeration people, they only fix small ponds, and they tend to deal with larger bodies of water. And I said, well, it probably depends upon the size of the system compared to the size of the pond. So there's a lot of work to be done. I'm not saying this is the solution, I'm just saying it's a possible, and I don't think 12 bubblers out there makes sense. I think that's a little,
Especially the shallow north side, it's so shallow.
right. And would you have some running at, in the wintertime in a certain area? I mean, you have open water, but then again, you have open water like that in Winnipesaukee with all the bubblers for the docks. So this is really early, but it's just something to stick in your head.
Where's the closest electric down there?
So the closest electric is the Pavilion, I think, has power. Now, it's easier to run airline tubes, so you can have we can put our compressors closer to the top of the hill, and you run a 1-inch PVC airline tube down to your junction box. And it's easier to ditch witch that, and you don't have to worry about power and stuff like that. So the compressors would probably be located closer to the ball field, because you can see you're running 500-foot tubes already, and you can run a couple hundred feet of 1 inch. So and it only requires 110. She initially scoped out a 230, but we don't have 230s. It's only 110. So-
Did she specify noise level and stuff like that?
Um,
I imagine it's probably pretty quiet.
They're fairly quiet. They come in those little containers, and, you know, you'd have to, so if you had it closer to the ball field area, you wouldn't worry about the sound traveling across the pond. You know, sound travels across water really well. So you wouldn't be annoying the people who live on the pond. And if we did it correctly, probably most of the noise you could direct towards the stand of trees and the pond, away from the ball field. But I don't know decibel readings, you know, all I hear is fairly quiet. I'm really early on this. Yeah.
And even if it was by the ball fields and it was, if it made too much noise, we could probably turn it off while the fields were in use, right?
Correct.
Put it in the shade.
Yeah, and the diffusers have like a check valve in them, so when you stop, water doesn't go in the lines, so, yeah, you can turn it on and off.
For the, this might sound like a, kind of like a silly question, but for the, going back to like the watershed, and this is of course
Yeah.
one of the, potential, fixes, but going back to the watershed study and like the grant and whatnot, and I know like the state runs a lot of the watershed protected type of, areas. What, if it's through the grants, like what, would it be, would Darapon show up on the watershed registry as a, like a studied, because like example for lawn care companies or individuals using fertilizers and pesticides and things like that, they have to abide by watershed rules and regulations, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, like with the ball field and other areas in the area, what types of things are being used, like is that part of the study?
Right.
What's being used chemical wise is dipping into the,
Yes, so,
Okay.
and we've already reached out to, the people doing the lawn care for the, and they are using a zero, phosphorus fertilizer already. Now, nitrogen is also part of, so you're using high nitrogen, and and is there runoff, that is, affecting the pond or not, I think is, what you'd have to figure out. But yes, they look at,
Yeah.
they look at the horse farm, is there something, they look at all the surrounding areas in order to do the impact.
like if they're testing also the levels in the water, if it's, anything's contributing to like the higher levels.
Yes.
Okay, I was just kind of curious. And then with the bubbler, is it something that can be run throughout winter and
I believe so. Yes.
putting it up that high, projected again, putting it up that high towards the pavilion, running that line doesn't decrease the
Pressure, yeah.
The pressure,
Yeah.
right.
all kind of,
So,
yeah.
I watched one video of a guy installing one, okay, and he said, I could have put the pump over here by my house, my garage, and run the pipe, the 1-inch PVC pipe to my manifold, and that would have been much easier than trenching the electric, but he trenched electric, and it was a couple hundred feet. So, I know at least 100 feet, or, 1 to 200 feet.
What's the
can be done.
max from where the pump resides to the furthest head?
Yeah.
Well, in the one that he put us at, I think they had one run that was 570 feet.
But that was a bubbler line, not the main distribution line.
Oh, okay.
So you missed a little bubbler discussion and the Dara Pond update. But you probably understand what's going on. So this was the, I kept on mentioning, they rank all these watersheds, do you know what I mean? And so this is where Dara Pond is at the bottom, we're ranked 206th out of 231. And, they have these different scores and this is your potential recovery rank over here and we're listed as low. So,
Silver Lake is below Darapon.
yeah, well, they have an issue because they have all of their septic systems from, those small little camps.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they upgraded them and didn't upgrade so they've got septic issues over
They
there
have
at
a
Silver
state
Lake.
park beach there too.
But if you get somebody to champion it, that'll help bring the cost much higher, because you get somebody's
Right,
attention.
so, let me see if I go here. So, Jason, you missed, this, they have these 604B grants, that help pay for water studies, and I was showing you where we ranked on the list of water bodies. And the first thing they say for eligibility for 604B grants is, where do you rank on that list?
Yeah.
And I told the guy, we don't have a chance. And he goes, well, no, it's actually, we actually look into, how active are people in your community, involved in the project, and will this thing, come to fruition? And so they give a lot of thought to, who's running the project and the community involvement. And, now that we had like 100 people at, the ice fishing derby, 100 kids, 250 people, people are involved with it in town. So, he liked that story. So we might be able to sell it, on the 604 3B grants. And let me just go one more thing here. So
What is the, what's the schedule for those? Is it rolling or is it once a year?
I'm not sure. And so this is the list of, and I put this spreadsheet inside of that folder as well. So these are the companies that he said I should reach out to. I don't know if I can make this bigger. So, want it bigger? Was it Command Plus, Shift, whatever. So, Jason, maybe you can go through this with, you know,
I know a lot of those
with,
companies.
yeah, with your extensive Rolodex. So, you know, so what we need to do is reach out to these people, explain our situation with, number one, are they interested in creating a watershed plan for us? You know, what would they do? You know, how much would it cost? And then we can, you know, once we have those kind of numbers, then we can meet and discuss and try to figure out what our options are. And
So the top, I think CEI, the top one, does the town stormwater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tom Ballestero is a UNH professor we had years ago talk about Dara Pond.
which one?
Tom Ballestero.
Which one is that?
Tom
Number 14.
14.
And
Yeah,
then-
so he's a UNH guy and he's pretty famous related to this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the other firms on there are bigger firms that probably want to use something a little smaller, more local,
Right. Great.
but I know a big chunk of those folks.
Okay, so, you know, we can go through that. So, sorry if I took a lot of time, but I'm trying to, you know, this fish kill really kind of bothers me, you know, to see that. And you know, once I saw that the water quality of Dara, you know, when I saw the numbers last year, you know, that got me started with the swans. You know, if I'm going to spend every day of the fall moving swans, you know, and now we have a fish kill on top of that, I mean, we need to, you know, get this pond, you know, back. Now, the fish kill, you know, largely was caused by the amount of ice and the snow, but it's because we have such a bad dissolved oxygen level to begin with. And okay, I'm going to say one more thing. Sorry. One way to get rid of the phosphorus in the pond is that you can do. I've been doing a lot of reading. You can do a harvest of the weeds in the fall. So you can bring in a machine. It's like a paddle wheel, and it cuts it up and it puts it in the boat, and you actually. The plants grow and they take the phosphorus out of the water or out of the bottom, and they put it into the plant itself, and then when it decays, the phosphorus goes back into the pond. Well, if you take the living plant out of the pond, you are harvesting, you're taking the phosphorus out of the pond. So I think that's tend to be done like in the south or a little bit more with some of these shallower golf course or drainage type things. So Jeff was a little surprised that I mentioned that, but he thought that might be something we could look at. So that's another option for maybe helping get rid of the phosphorus. Oh, and I did that, my numbers on the geese, where I said it could be like 480 pounds of phosphorus. I didn't take into account that the geese could be eating the plants in the pond, and they could be recycling the phosphorus that's in the plants back into the pond. So that number, that 480 of added phosphorus, may be a little lower than that. You know, because depends on how much the geese eats outside the pond versus they eat inside the pond. Do you know, you laugh, but you know, it depends on,
Yeah.
you know, where the nutrients are coming from. But anyways, that's where I stand on Dara Pond.
I just did a little Googling here and it looks like the grants comes up in the fall. And you gotta submit in November and then they select around this time of year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about the Moose Plate one?
That's similar, like we would be, it's around, you have to put in by the fall time and you get the money the next year as well. But
Well, if we put in for the grant, do we have to put in for a warrant article? That's,
I think it was the one that
No,
had
that was
the
a loan.
interest.
Right, it's the one that was interest might be, you know, the one that we, because we'd be actually taking out a loan. These grants, we don't need a warrant article for the 604. Well,
can we get a listing or a summary of just like some of the past grant awardees? Did you go over that?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, never mind then.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, so,
I'd be curious to see how much they are.
you
We
can-
do watershed projects, but they're big ones and they're a lot of money.
There, some of them, yeah, so I was looking through, some of them are in the millions, 6 million and stuff like
What about
that.
that-
Well, some of those are those loans too. So the CWSRF loans, you can get a loan and you pay interest while the project's going over. When the project's done, they forgive the principal. So, yeah, I don't know if you knew about that, you might,
Yep.
you probably do, so.
But that one
Leave
requires a
more
warrant
state
article, probably because of cost. I don't think, if we went after it, it wouldn't be that much. but it'd
Right,
still be
yes,
a warrant
exactly.
article.
No, well, if we take out a loan, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right, because, yeah. So there's a bunch of information, I didn't save it, it's probably in one of these tabs that I have up here, but that showed previous grants and, you know, award winners.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think I've taken enough time.
Last thing on the pond, are we deploying the geese this spring?
I saw some geese very early on. I haven't seen any the past couple times I'm down there. So I'm not sure if we have to deploy yet. As soon as we see
Roll
them.
out the golf course.
Are they?
Is the ice completely out? of
Yes,
that?
ice is completely out.
Here's my question is, I mean, I'm all in favor of, trying to save the pond. Now, but the landowners around there, are they gonna, well, first of all, we're gonna need their cooperation, that's number one. Number two, long-term, are we going to put some sort of, I'm gonna use the word restrictions on what they can do on their properties as far as,
Yeah, I don't think we can. Now, if we have this watershed program, right, if they come up with a plan, they may do sampling of water right in front of the various houses and see if they see any, I don't know if this is true or not, but they may do sampling to see if they can find sources of nutrient, phosphorus, and septic systems could be one. Now, there are 4-ish, 5-ish septic systems that might be impacting the pond. I don't know what the impact of one failing septic system, and I'm not saying these people are in failure, but the state might be able to have more power than, we have no power.
and the big problem that I also see is that, okay, we have an active number of landowners who want to participate with this program. That's great. What happens when they sell their house, their property?
Yeah, so when I was, there are rules in the state that, if their septic system's in failure or something like that, they have to have it, fixed. So I don't think we are gonna be putting any undue rules upon them that aren't state laws. So I don't think we would be, applying anything to them that, would,
But if we don't do some sort of, let me call it control, not restrictions. So all the efforts that we spend all this money and save the pond will, in essence, be kind of a waste if they go back to their, lack of controls, okay?
I understand where you're coming from. I did speak with one of the landowners, when I was checking out, the pond, and he was, actually, is it Richard, is it,
Husband.
Yes, so he was a member of the Conservation Commission for a while, and he was informing me on all kinds of information about the pond and issues with, the pumping and whatnot 20 years ago. And he was, on top of,
What do you mean the pumping?
When we had 2 production wells, the
Oh,
pond was
okay.
lower.
yeah, drawing
Okay,
down the
gotcha,
ponds.
yeah.
So, and his neighbor, so when I first heard about the potential fish kill, I went over and asked if I could go through this other person's lawn, to take a look at the pond, and he was very agreeable and happy. So I think we have receptive people now. I know they could sell, but anything we do to improve the pond improves their home value and their enjoyment factor, so I think it's a win-win, for them.
So we have no, so for that pond though, just for my own clarity, there's no control, or regulation as far as, like, bring it back to my point, the biggest thing that I have seen is runoff, is the chemical use, the things of that sort. There's nothing in place for
Well,
that?
yes, you would, because Dara Pond is 12 acres, so it's in the shoreline protection. So
Okay.
There's rules that go along, like the Merrimack River, the sections in shoreline protection, so there are rules that go along with that.
And we wouldn't know if they are
Being policed and enforced.
being policed and enforced, and we're not a enforcement agent, but like the building inspector would be, do you know what I mean? And we need to have this study done to see if there's,
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Is what the study will do, Harry, it's not gonna dictate what people can and can't do around the pond. It's gonna tell us what,
No, I
yeah,
understand,
what the
I
current situation
understand
is
that.
and provide recommendations.
We go through all this whole study and we all agree that, yes, we should do this and all this sort of stuff. And then, like I said, the people around the pond are very cooperative and they all agree to it. But the minute they start selling their property,
But
It's
that's
a
why
public
From-
education thing, though. It's gotta
And I
expand
understand that.
multiple different,
but the first thing that's gonna happen, and I hate to sound like a doom and gloom, is when a real estate agent sells that property, you can bet your $10 to donuts that that is going to be missed or not concentrated on, or not even in the sales agreement.
what would be missed? What do you mean? What would?
Well, if we do the study and we agree to go ahead and fix the pond,
But if there was runoff or contamination from any of those lots, because it's a great pond, I think the state would have some say on it. And it's
yes, I
protected under-
understand that, but you still need the cooperation of the people.
well, but actually, so they would be in violation.
Yeah,
And I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
No, but what I'm saying, Harry, is if they have, if they're over fertilizing their lawn and it's running into the pond, that's in a violation. If their septic system is failing and putting nutrients in the pond, that's in violation. And so there's nothing, those are probably the only 2 things that they could be doing in
Well, I
violation.
guess the
They
first
sold
thing
it, the septic system's
is-
gonna have to be,
is
Inspected.
get the study done, so we know what we're
Exactly,
kind of looking at.
yeah. So we're guessing, like, I guess maybe it was the horse farm, maybe it's the geese, maybe it's, at this point, we're guessing, we don't have any hard numbers.
And does the study cost money?
Yes, it does. Yes.
That's
the
why we're
study-
talking about the
and
grants
and
and
we
everything.
need money to do the study. So we have to figure out how much does the study cost? Can we get the grants? And where do we get the money? And how much money? We don't know. Jason might know, but we don't.
Well, that's what I would think that the first thing that we need to do is get that study done, and
Right, so we're gonna call the companies, we're gonna have Jason cherry pick a few, and then we'll call them up and see what they have to say, and then we'll present it back to the committee and see about moving forward.
All right, we good on Darapon?
I'm sorry, yeah.
All right,
It's
we're
a
gonna
lot.
limit discussion for the next items to 30 minutes per topic.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry.
We're going to 30 minutes.
Get your gavel.
It's just,
Now, I have
No, it was good, we needed
a
to have
point of
that
order.
discussion.
When Jason's back, is Joe still on, or I just figure out now you have too many, or is, Aiden is an alternate too, so you couldn't replace Aiden. Cause you appointed him to replace Jason, but Jason's back.
So it goes back to
Yeah,
Jason.
so can I turn the voting authority back to
Yeah,
Jason?
and take it off of Joe.
Yeah, just,
Yeah,
All right, you okay with that, Joe?
I give it back.
You accept?
Yes.
All right. The next few, we'll finish just going through the old business and we'll circle back up to the new business. Next item was a 250th celebration. So for that,
actually, it's property maintenance.
Where?
no,
No.
property maintenance is
Still in-
down below that.
Yeah.
We're still up on it.
we're on
All
old
right,
business.
so this must be an old,
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, Steve, do you have access to the portal, the
property
AI
maintenance
portal?
equipment, E, for agenda.
What, April 2nd?
No, April 2nd, 2026, agenda.
Where did that go? I deleted that. by
All right, that's okay.
accident. But no, we have to talk about that too, because that was just supposed to be for the new mower. So we just gotta work out the logistics to pick up the new mower, but we can take
Yeah.
that offline. Yeah, I writ something from that, sorry about that. All right, next, item was a 250th celebration. So for this, all I've, committed for us to do was to look at putting in, restoring the trails that were between, the middle school, the old fire station, and GMS. So there was already trails in place there. It's just probably us going through and, trying to clean those up a little bit. I haven't walked back there, but that's one thing we can take a look at, because they're looking at spreading out activities, or, want people to have access to the old town hall, because they're gonna have stuff set up there. Still trying to sort out where they wanna set up all the other stuff, but they might be looking at using some Griffin or LMS properties, or at least for parking and stuff like that. So that's one item. And then the other one is, to complete the signage for the muster field. So we did this survey, the follow-up part we wanted to do for that is to put up some post with some QR codes and brief descriptions to link it back to the website that we have set up. So those are the only two items we're on the hook for.
Now, the trail, is that on, do you have to get anybody's approval to do, or is it town
I was
property?
thinking, you go from GMS to the back of this, the ag field that's behind Town Hall, Old Town Hall, is town land, and I don't think the people that bought the White House, I don't think their property goes back that far.
It doesn't. It ends, you've got the church, and then you've got the White House, and then you have the field between them.
Oh, yeah, because the White House is on the other side of the church, so it'd be Frank's house,
Yep.
and I don't think his goes back that far.
Because I know there was a trail there, I was just wondering if it was,
It's not
did you get
really-
a landowner's approval, or is it town property?
We can
might-
pull up the map and,
We
can
might,
pull up the map
there's
and look at
the field behind the old town hall, I don't think is town land, I think we have an easement there.
Well, we have an easement on the stage crossing parcel.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
So, we have an easement here, right? Or-
Yeah, and we have an easement on that whole parcel. The old trolley track goes through there. So I think that dark spot might be it, the old trolley track, or that's wet.
Right here?
Right,
So,
no.
we have, looks like there's like right up through there, looks like there might
Right
be
of
a
way?
trail.
No, you're too far. Well, there's a trail, that gets wet down in, that's LMS, and that gets wet down in here.
Okay,
And, I think like over here might be an old trolley track. We've been through there. But in July, is this gonna be in July?
it's gonna be in July.
We would do this,
Be in July.
we would come out here and then it would just follow this trail and then somehow get
Oh, you'd be
over to here.
further over there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so that's all we have to do?
This
Just
this
that one
field's
little
wet in the
section?
spring.
Well, no, because we have to hook up, from LMS down too.
Oh, we gotta do
From
LMS?
LMS?
What,
No, you can't
who's
get
our
But-
liaison to the,
Aiden.
Isn't there,
I was
already-
there, I was the one
isn't
who-
there already a trail from LMS to GMS?
There is, but
talking about
it's
for
wet,
parking.
and right now it's got a lot of trees down on it, but
It's fine. The
Come
big
down
thing
the
is
hill.
just making it, getting people off of 3A between Griffin and the
Yeah.
fire station.
Okay,
I mean, with some work and maybe some little bridges like,
the planks one?
Yeah.
The-
yeah.
okay. And that's in August? We have to have that done by August?
July.
July, oh, yeah, July 28th or
Late
something like
July.
that. Okay.
And they said, somebody told me the powwow is not going to be associated with the 250th because it's too big of a deal, so they're gonna have that separate.
Did they establish the location for that? Is that gonna be at,
I haven't heard, the guy that was here probably know, but he's gone.
Only thing we might have to coordinate with the McQuestons on the
Yeah.
trail that's along the field, just to leave us like a little bit of space.
Yeah.
Cause sometimes they chew that up and it gets
Right,
really,
yep.
really rutted, so
Do
maybe all we need is 6 feet or something like that.
They have lease to
oh,
that
we
property?
gotta talk to them.
They lease that property, that Farmville?
Yep.
All right, next up is the damage to the Morris Falls fence. So, gotta figure out, I guess what the cost will be to repair it and figure out how we can fund that. But in the meantime, we should just clean it up at least.
Yeah,
Get all
well, the
road-
ground's been frozen, I was gonna, well, I haven't been around on a weekend and I don't know how long, but, now that the ground is thawed, we can get out there, and I have some spares, I don't know if I have a corner post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the sidewalk gonna go? It wasn't gonna, is it
Well,
gonna
we'll
go?
get to that.
Yeah,
That's a
okay.
big
We have our,
discussion.
gonna say,
we
we
have our
might be able to
monthly
harvest a
sidewalk
piece.
update for the last 3 years.
No, we've got our sidewalk update.
Okay.
So you might be able to harvest a post if it's gonna open one up.
Ah, that's a good
Oh, I
idea.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we just gotta get that cleaned up, so maybe this weekend I can get out there.
And,
I might go down this weekend and just yank, I think Joe said it at the last meeting, just
Yeah,
at
just
least
just pull the stuff out,
rails
so
out.
it's,
Yeah.
and they're just pressure fitting there anyways, right? They're not connected.
Yank,
Yeah.
well, you-
and so I was talking with Diane, and she's been doing some canvassing for 250th contributions and whatnot. We do have a new fence company in town, Finnegan Fence, so if we're looking to source parts or, and they, you know, in lieu of donation, they may be able to help with labor or do, or something perhaps, but we may want to check out, talking to them about.
those posts are not cheap, like, that right there is about $600 in damage, which is 60% of our budget.
Yep.
'Cause there's 3 sections that actually got
Yeah.
damaged.
All right, so we'll follow up on that. Next item was bees at the community garden. So we had one of the gardeners.
More
that-
bees?
Well, we had one of the gardeners that was gonna put in their own hives there, but they had to back out from doing that. But we have a beekeeper from Hudson that is, bees have been doing really well, and he's looking for some additional space for it too, so. If we feel comfortable, we can I can contact him and ask him to check it out and see what it is. I don't have the details about how many hives or anything he has.
We have his name though.
On the
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's, I have
beekeeper,
it right here, yeah.
Yeah, the beekeeper.
now, do you know how many people we have in the community garden as of right now?
About.
10
We had
plots.
about, to 10 or 12 plots last year.
We had that many?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I think in one of the meetings, I don't remember who brought it up, but, Matt and George and Jason have been spending a lot of their own money you know, putting in different things, water and all that sort of stuff. And what was mentioned was maybe having some sort of fee from these plot people. Now, I saw the email about the beekeeper. And let me just out and out state it. I'm not in favor of putting bees up here, but
You
let
said
that go.
last year.
That's beside the point. But if we decide to go with the beekeeper from Hudson, how about I want to know what he's going to do with the excess honey. Now, I'm assuming if he has that many bees, he's got an excess of honey, which I'm sure he's not storing. I guess what I'm saying is,
It's gonna be making money off of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if he's gonna be making money off of that, and we want him to go to the community garden, how about maybe charging him some sort of,
The problem is, I don't think we have a easy way to charge people for it. We don't have a fund for it or anything like.
Right, and
that.
so any money we charged him would go into the general fund and help alleviate taxes.
Unless it was a donation, and a donation can go into our conservation fund.
Yeah.
But that has to
or
be,
something like that.
doesn't that have to be accepted by the selectmen, a donation?
I don't think so. I know,
easy.
well, maybe it does have to be accepted by the Board of Selectmen, but I do know in the RSA for the Conservation Fund, it does say accepts donations, so
Yeah.
I assume it would have to, you guys have to accept every donation, I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, because if you've got, I didn't realize that we had 12 people, but
We were talking about that last year. I mean, if we could even get $25 or whatever the number
what,
is,
that's what I was
you know,
thinking.
that
Yeah.
gives us something to,
Maintain
Yeah.
the water
Maintain.
system, yeah.
Yeah, what I would be reluctant to do is use conservation funds to support the community garden for 12 members.
Yeah.
Now, if you're getting donations, that's totally different, because as a taxpaying resident, I don't think I'd wanna, like, you have your own land, why am I paying for you to have a community garden spot, even though it's
We're
probably
gonna-
we
minuscule?
wanna build the
but
water
that's-
tower.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we didn't
Water
spend that
towers
much.
out.
We
We
had
have a
a,
couple $100, $300.
it's just one of those things that, it's the optics of the whole thing that people see it, why are we
Now,
spending
how
money
many
for the
people can-
minorities?
It was I heard a number of 20.
oh, we could easily fit 20 blocks.
And the other side towards the woods, that gets.
We already started clearing a second.
No, I
second row.
understand that, but, to having the bee, like I said, having this beekeeper come in, maybe we can get a donation that'll help us out.
But don't the bees help?
Yeah, the bees
pollinate the-
help
Yes.
us.
Yeah, so it's kind of, he's helping the community garden by cross-pollinating.
Yeah, it's what all the farms pay for the beekeepers to come and put their hives in there, and then they sell the honey off of that too. All the fields through Litchfield have beehives.
Yep.
Well, it's something that we should look at, though.
Yeah,
I do find it interesting though about some way of like the community garden, some type of donation, so it's not using like a specific fund from conservation to support that, because that is something that
yeah. No, we were conscious, and people are responsible for all their own stuff,
yeah,
and like
yeah, but-
the labor and the tilling and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff we get through people donating their
It
time
was-
and stuff.
It
But
was
we
the
do- but we just don't-
batteries, the solar panels,
Yeah.
and the two small pumps is what we've contributed.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just don't
it
have
makes
a way to
sense.
take monetary donations.
yeah.
Well, but what about the $25 donation from all the farmers down there?
Well, yeah, that's we have to talk about how we'd want to implement that.
Because I need to know that, because they'll be, breaking ground soon, in May, for sure.
Yep.
Do we have a liaison? Are you the liaison? Who's the liaison to the, okay. All right. Remember it was you, then it was Diane.
So,
Okay.
do we want to, like, put in a $20 or a $25 donation?
I think so.
Optional
Small.
donation.
Recommended donation.
Yeah,
If you put it in for 20
And,
bucks. people
and
will
if
give
they
more.
can gather it up and, I don't, you'd have to ask the town administrator to see how we can do this, but I mean, maybe it's the case like pickleball, is they actually get donations,
And they
and
put
they
it
give
in.
one donation to the town.
Yeah, so the community garden does have someone who's, who managed it. She manages the plot assignments and stuff like that, I'm sure. She could be responsible for collecting donations and stuff, and
ooh, I
do a
can just turn
one-time
it over to her,
donation to
then.
us.
Denise,
Yeah,
Denise, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
'cause we don't need too many chiefs here.
That just helps us out if we need, if a pump breaks, we have to buy a new
Yeah.
battery,
Yeah,
you know, the solar panels.
And those aren't cheap things.
No, and the water tower isn't gonna be that cheap either, I mean, so they
Yeah.
make it out of redwood.
Yeah.
But then as you add more services down there, you're gonna attract more residents and possibly increase your,
Yeah,
Water is
Donation.
basically the only service that we need.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we do have to lay that line and run the wires,
we do.
Yeah.
but it's still early for that.
Early, yeah. The ice get off the stream.
We gotta figure out a way to, wash all the soot and sediment that's settled in the tank too. Maybe we don't have to do that, but
Tip it upside down.
Then what about the,
shake it.
as long as we're on the garden, the water overuse where they were, what was they doing, spraying
Sprinkler.
in the air?
Oh, yeah, so we just have to do a better job of establishing ground rules for the,
Yeah,
for the
so-
garden.
I think we should say, no sprinklers. I mean, you know, they can run they can run their own pump from, the tank to their, plot, but they have to hand water,
Okay,
you know, or drip.
Drip
Right.
irrigation, yeah.
You know, the guy who's running the sprinkler, he's not going to be there, great guy, so nothing against him, but, he is going on like a cross-country trip or something this year, so he's not going to be gardening.
Who is it gonna be?
I can't
Oh,
remember
I
his
know
name,
you're-
the guy in the end.
Arnie?
Arnie, yeah.
Joe, and the other thing was that we were gonna put in some ground rules. I thought we were gonna actually, that was one of, we should have put that down as a goal, that we like write ground
and
rules.
we need to write that up to have the,
The
be a
one
straight line.
along the front of the, keeping everybody like along, keeping the front of the garden plots neat, orderly, clean, no junk out in front of there. That's like, that's important, because when we're running the mower,
right,
like, I've wiped out a lot of things running that mower, because people throw stuff down in the grass
you
and,
can't see it, yeah.
yeah.
Well, they should keep all the equipment inside their fenced area,
Yeah, but
Some are-
some extended their plot out,
yeah,
and some are like back, so you can't really just like
Yep.
run the mower along the fence.
straight edge.
Maybe we could stake it with a couple, stakes and strings, say, you have to stay behind this line.
Yeah,
We could electrify it, okay.
Keep the groundhogs out.
All right, so, I can reach out to the Hudson guy and see, just check to see how many hives and stuff he's talking about.
And we can see where he wants to put him. We could put him in that same location near the bat house if you
Well, let's
wanted.
think about that location though. All the cars are gonna drive right by there. I would think that it's be better away from the cars and
The back.
Kind of tucked away. In the back.
past the bat house.
Well,
But then you have
maybe
the
over by the
access to the
second
bridge.
bridge.
Well, not
That
too close to the
location?
bridge. I don't know if they need to be in the sun. I don't know. Well, we'd have him come down.
Yeah, have him come and say, I'd like to put it here, and we say, give us 3 options, or, yeah. Most likely, he'll put it in a spot where we don't
So
have a
I'll
problem.
call him and see if he can
Okay.
come in. I'll
Okay, perfect.
let everybody know if anybody wants to join.
Oh, here's the guy's name in front of me. Nicholas.
Next is, Mooresville sidewalk up.
Oh, boy.
What's the good news?
Okay, so you never decided last month whether you wanted to, which I think is highly doubtful, go the route of pavement and go the 4.5 to 6 months, and governor and council approves it. Did we say, no, we don't wanna do that? That was what Fish and Game said we had to do, if we wanted pavement, and change the easement,
And we'd have to pay for their lawyers or something, right?
and pay for their time, yeah, so I thought that was a no-go.
Right.
Just assume that was a no-go. Okay, so, To start with, in Reggie's approval of Corning Farm, he stated that he would build the sidewalk.
Can you call the plan up? It's on the portal.
Okay, hold on.
May 3rd, 2022, he was approved. And as his notice of decision, the sidewalk extension to the south of Morris Falls entrance, Conservation Commission to agree with the sidewalk location on the Charles Bancroft and trail location internally.
Look at the meeting page. It's down below, I think, on the meeting portal page.
Oh.
Sorry, John.
Go ahead.
Trying to get the plan. Go, to the meeting. This week's meeting, it should be over to the right. Hit more, just your screen.
Gotcha.
There you go. Then scroll down. Up, see, there's a picture of our, keep going, there you go, right there. If you blow that up,
Oh, that's the, one from the height.
and keep
Now,
all those, yep, there's the sidewalk.
let me just show you on, this, go back this way a little bit if you can. He has a 15-foot on Corning,
Hold on, sorry, I'm going bigger.
on Corning Farm, he has a 15-foot DOT easement if they ever want to do turning lanes or widen the road. You can't really see it, but I looked at their plan today. That's why they didn't show the easement. I think this is they didn't show a sidewalk on theirs, they had this easement. So I wondered if that extended over to ours, the DOT easement. Because one of the options is to go outside the fence, but then he would have to do curbing and drainage and get permission from DOT. The other way, let me just say, on May 3rd, 2022, minutes of the planning board, that Mr. Moreau, the original plan called for a sidewalk from the southerly entrance to the northern property line of Morris Falls. Kate, who used to be on the planning board, asked if they would put a sidewalk across the frontage of Morris Falls. The owner has agreed to do that. So, the owner has agreed to that, but Eric, their engineer, stated they didn't put the sidewalk across their frontage because of the New Hampshire DOT need for an easement for future traffic turning lanes. But he did agree to go across our frontage. So, in lieu of pavement, Fish and Game says they could do
When is the date of this that you're just gonna say now for?
March 10th, 2026.
Okay.
Fish and Game had said, you know, if you wanna do pavement, it's gonna take you forever and do all these agencies to go through, ending with governor and executive council approval. Not to say that you'll get approval from all those people. So he gave us Fish and Game gave us some options on different types of material. Reggie didn't know he hadn't worked with either of those materials. Also, I found out that since we don't own the land, and there would not be winter maintenance on a non-paved area, and we would be changing the land with a sidewalk, we need to ask the selectmen, because we don't own the land. Town owns land.
Oh, okay.
So, but in the site plan of Litchfield site plan, sidewalks are required along at least one side of all public or private road frontages. Where appropriate, unpaved pathways or trails may serve as an alternative to paved sidewalks. So, you'll have a sidewalk on the gas station, and then there'll be a crosswalk from the east side to the west to the gas station, and the gas station will have a sidewalk, and then we plan to have a sidewalk so that people coming from the north could walk wherever they wanna go. Now, we were always confusing the bike path, which is 7 or 8 feet wide, with the sidewalk, which is only 4 feet wide. So we shouldn't be mixing the two, because they plow the bike path, but they're not gonna plow the sidewalk. Well, and for one other reason is because they'll dig it up. And I talked to Kevin Brown, he doesn't have the equipment to do it, road agent.
Winter maintenance is the big issue, because there's liabilities. You say Fish and Game would prefer not to have a solid surface like asphalt, but then you start putting down the recycled asphalt like we have in the parking lots. How many times can you hit that with the plow before it starts pushing away? And as you said, Kevin doesn't have anything that small to do it.
Right.
His devices are, I think he wants everything
So,
8 to
so it
10
wouldn't
feet.
get done in the winter, so is that liability for us, for the town?
Yes, yes, and then that becomes, because Reggie doesn't want the liability, nor does the town. If it's gonna
Well, it
fall
would be
under the town, it has
liability
to be a
because it
certain
wouldn't be
size.
plowed.
Yeah, right, so if it's a town liability, town takes ownership, the town is gonna want it to be large enough for the road agent to be able to clear it with our equipment that we have
But the
currently.
road agent doesn't wanna stop at 3A, take his equipment across, he's not gonna plow the gas station, go up and plow in Morris Falls. I mean, that's a lot of time and effort on his part.
Why don't we just not plow it? So you're saying there's,
Well, he's saying there's liability if we didn't.
Liabilities.
are we sure about that?
Yes, yes, we've discussed it,
Like,
that the
there's
town cannot,
A
if it's
a
a
lot of
plat,
sidewalks that are, not in town, but I see a lot of sidewalks in cities that just aren't plowed.
I think you're supposed to plow. But the other option is, now that we have this new mower, is to keep it mowed. And
and just not doing anything in the winter?
Keep it what?
Or
mowed
have
with
him
the
put it
new-
on the outside of the fence, because that's what he said he would do.
But now he's saying
Well,
you
he,
do it right
he
away.
didn't,
Right.
huh?
But
He
that-
didn't- he
that-
said he would do a sidewalk, he didn't, right, he didn't say inside or outside.
It doesn't,
But
Not for nothing.
he committed to a sidewalk,
yes.
that's the point.
We gotta get this figured out, like, soon. If not, we can't just let it go. So
No,
either the
it's-
sidewalk's gonna go outside the fence. We're not getting anywhere with here if we can't put it inside the fence. Either it goes outside the fence, and he's on the hook to put the curbing in.
Yeah.
And everything. It should have been done for the part in front of his development. So either he
Or
goes
inside
that,
his development, cause he can't be in that 15-foot easement on his,
I've got a good memory, during the planning, I don't know if you remember this, but during the planning board phase, there was a big discussion about about the sidewalk along the front of that property,
of his property?
of his property. And then it was decided that we're gonna not do the sidewalk there and put the sidewalk in front of the Moores Falls property. And I
Okay.
think you kinda have the minutes for that.
It was
right
just
now.
a small discussion of that.
And so either A, we keep it outside the fence, and the cost is the cost. We figure out, all right, inside the fence, it sounds like paving is off the table. We can't have it nit pack or anything like that. Weeds are gonna go through there. We're gonna be there with the mower. It's gonna be shooting
Well,
rocks all over the place.
what about the stuff that Rick put down for the river access?
I think that would be fine, but in my,
It's not,
I think that would get ripped up too.
it's,
not only would it get ripped up,
It's
I'm
pavement.
saying that's impervious, that's considered an impervious surface,
yeah, I
which
think so.
is the
Is what
same
they
as
don't
pavement.
want. Yeah,
Or we work something else out.
well, do we send Reggie a letter, or do we have him in here, or what do we do? We need to,
I think we're gonna have to write him a letter and say, we gotta get this figured out. I haven't even gotten the plan. I'm supposed to give the plan to National Grid. I finally got in contact with National Grid a couple of months ago. I provided National Grid with that plan. That plan, if you notice, is not signed by the surveyor. There's a survey stamp there, but it is not right in the middle.
yeah,
There's a survey stamp. If you zoom in on that, it doesn't have the surveyor's signature.
Right.
It says like insert signature here or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, so, and they
I've been
want,
trying for 2 years to get that thing signed. And it just doesn't happen. I mean, we gotta figure this out.
do you wanna write him a letter? You know, just,
I think, yeah, we need to, because
So DOT, or Fish and Game does not want pavement or concrete
Right.
or,
here's the steps you would have to go through with Fish and Game. Based on the discussion with New Hampshire Department of Justice Attorney, the process to amend the conservation easement deed would be negotiate the conservation easement amendment with Fish and Game. Once finalized, obtain DES review, given this conservation easement was granted as wetlands mitigation. There's no wetlands there. New Hampshire DOJ Charitable Trust Division review, Governor and Executive Council approval. My guess is it would take 4.5 to 6 months, given existing workloads. Regarding compensation, we would simply look to recoup staff costs to facilitate this amendment.
Well, the staff costs could be paid for by the developer at no cost to the town. They wanna go that, I'll tell you that, going that route is gonna be cheaper
Oh, yeah.
than putting granite curbing down 3A and
And talking
all
to
the
DOT.
stormwater.
So, okay, so are we gonna write a letter saying you have two options? You can do this, apply to change the deed, and pay for the costs, or you can do the outside the, fence, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And he has to make the decision. And it has to be, we need to put a deadline on when the decision is made.
But then what about the two options that Fish and Game gave us for type of material?
What were the options?
Oh,
My Google ready.
These 2 points could be addressed with either a compacted crushed stone with stabilizer, stabilized decomposed granite and stabilized crushed stone, or a resin-bound gravel lock for driveways and walkways. Neither would be considered a pavement type of material and would be ADA compliant.
Sounds like knit pack to me.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last one? Did it just say?
Gravel lock for driveways, and the first one was stabilized decomposed granite and stabilized crushed stone / stabilizer solutions, or a resin-bound gravel.
But would that fall into needing to be maintained during winter?
Decomposed gravel, what's it?
Yeah, if it's town property, the concern is it needs to be maintained in the winter. Unless we specify that it's not, but
So do you want me to give you this whole chain of events, March 10th, March 5th, so you can tell Reggie what the scoop is?
So one of the projects I talked about is the same stuff that's at Moore's Fall. When you plowed that, how many times would you wanna plow that gravel before? Like when you did it, there was a good snow pack and ice pack underneath it, but early or late in the season, you're just gonna dig it up and push it off to the side probably.
And then the
Well,
other
yeah, I mean,
problem
it just depends on like when the first frost hits and also the type of blade you're using. Cause like for myself, I use a poly blade, so it's gentler.
Right, so it's
But
lighter.
if you're gonna use a steel edge, that's gonna rip that right up.
Yeah, that's all the
But-
town
but
has is steel.
The other problem is, who's gonna do that?
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Kevin doesn't have the equipment or the manpower.
no. So if Kevin was to do it, he would do it in his, skid steer with a snow blower, and it needs to be as wide as a skid steer. And he's gonna have to go down the sidewalk, which is gonna, I think Mr. Charbonneau's already said, however wide he wants it, he'll make it. Then he'd have to cross over, like you said, and then do that section. But it has to be large enough for a skid steer. Or snowplow blade,
I think Kevin said 90 inches, that sound right? 8 feet?
90 inches.
Jason, do you want this paperwork to?
Yeah.
There's the stuff on the front, and then there's what,
Did you, do I have that as an email?
You can have that and I'll print it
Okay.
again.
I mean, the other option is if it's unmaintained, then we have to put signs that says it's not maintained in the winter, which then that becomes
wait a minute.
the
Now, what-
developer's problem.
It wouldn't be an easement for the sidewalk, right? It's on the town property, so it wouldn't be an easement. highway's equipment is 72 inches wide.
Would you say highway said 72 inches?
So 6
This
feet.
is a, March 6th email from town administrator that the highway currently has equipment to clear at least 72 inches. They do not have equipment to clear a 4-foot sidewalk. And legal has stated that easements for sidewalks must go to town meeting.
That must be
but it's
72.
not an easement.
Well, maybe as you're talking about a plow, that would be 6 feet.
We would need a maintenance plan.
So where are we?
Or, let's see, from 2022, where?
Gobi Desert.
Rock in a hard place, but we can't have a hard place.
We're approaching the
Should we-
30-minute
should we
deadline.
Send,
Yeah, okay.
send Reggie a letter and ask him to come in for the next meeting?
Yep.
Are we gonna, we're gonna send him a letter saying these are your options and come in? Or are we gonna just send him a letter to come in?
No, I think we should send them the options and
Yeah.
then
Right.
let them digest that.
And when he sees the options, he'll be
Good to
motivated to come in.
discuss.
Could we say something else about Morris Falls? While we're here?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, Charlotte Harding is the person who comes down to check the easement every year. And, I sent her the plan of the gas station, so she wanted to check the boundary. And then she also questioned the GPS. Has anybody seen the GPS?
Yep.
When did you first notice it? I didn't notice it till March 13th.
Oh, it's been there a
Been there a
while.
long time.
That's what Rick Sumner told me,
Yeah.
it's been there for quite a while. So she wanted to know who owned it, so I didn't know, so I called around. It's not Markey Construction, it's evidently the site people put it there, and, so that they wouldn't bump into it or run it over with their site equipment. And Jason had told me, I sent Jason the picture, that it's a GPS base station to get closer down to the centimeter of, I guess, where the gas station is, or where the pumps are, or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I didn't,
Did they seek approval to put it there?
I didn't have any
They
angst
didn't,
about,
they should have.
Yeah.
they should have, it's on town property, they should have kind but, she wanted to know, and she wondered if she was gonna check the conservation easement and see if it's a problem with the conservation easement, and I didn't think so, but it's not really bothering me.
They should have asked us,
Should
but
have
I
asked-
would not want them to move it, because that's an established base station right now. And if they do move it, you're switching your base point, and if they're off an inch, it could throw off the survey. So we would wanna keep
And it's
that there.
temporary, right? It's temporary.
It's like having a benchmark.
By the time she gets
Yeah.
back about looking up into the easement, they'll be gone.
Should I contact them to say, it would have been nice if you contacted the town, or just
Sure.
let it go? If I could
Oh.
even,
Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Flex while you can.
All right, we good on Morris Falls?
Let's keep going.
yes, I'm good. Let's be
It's an
here all
hour
night.
30 each, right?
Should we, go back to Dare Pond for a little bit?
No.
Hey, sorry. Wait here.
All right, DeRocher leases.
The Rocher leases, okay. So I got involved with that.
Sorry, George. It was Diane's job, for the record.
So, yeah,
Sorry,
there's,
Diane.
yeah, sorry, Diane, and thank you for your work on this, Diane. So, we have a couple of things that we have to do for those leases, all right? McQuestion would like, the names on, the lease to be changed from, I think it was, Father, I can't-
Charlie.
Charlie, so they want it to be now McQuestion Farm of 330, Charles Bancroft Highway. So, you know, the tenant, I guess, is now McQuestion Farm. And McQuestion asked if they could use both of the lower lots on DeRoche's farm, both of the lots on the west side, for farming So right now, Alvern has one on the wood side and one on, the river side. And McQuestion, I guess, is losing land and would like to farm that land as well. So they've made a request
Okay,
to increase the size of their land.
But Alvin's already using the,
Alvin is haying that field at the moment, yes. So Alvin has historically hayed that field
on the west side.
on the west side.
on the west side, I don't know if you can bring up the map real quick, but there are multiple fields on the west side.
Hold on, I'm gonna take this down for a second.
And we'll just have to, figure that out, we'll have to talk with
Yeah, the
Alvern.
map you had was pretty clear, I thought. That was with the draft lease agreements?
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Hold on. Sorry. Yep. Just wanna make sure I have it.
I'll
So-
connect the AI up to the GIS next, and we'll see.
What does McQuestion wanna do? They wanna use an additional field on the east side?
West side.
Okay.
There you go, that's perfect.
So currently, McQuestion does this 9.1 acres here, and Alvern hays these two fields, I guess. And McQuestion is asking for, to farm these two and leave just these over here for Alvern.
Not only these Alvin, but 3 acres, so.
Right.
Sure. In red, McQuestion's using that
Yes.
right now, right?
Yep,
And what they wanna do is use the two,
2 blue ones.
exactly, yep. And
Additional 5 acres.
right, so, you know, Alvern is paying us, what, $9.75 or something like that for the, right, they pay the town.
No,
Alvern doesn't pay that.
no.
No, I said Alvern, I said Alvern, I meant McQuestion, McQuestion is paying, yeah.
For
And
the property at,
I think they pay
they,
once,
they're not paying anything for this right now.
they're not,
No.
No, that's the river access.
This is a new lease.
only the river access.
River access is $9.75 a
Yeah.
year.
Okay,
I think what you have to do is come up with how much it costs per acre and figure out the dollar amount per acre. And then whoever's gonna field it, farm it. is
see,
gonna be charged.
Alvern has not paid in the past, and we had changed the lease to say that in lieu of payment, they will help with brush hogging, and, you know, they would try to help, you know, with us clearing the ditches. All right, they don't have equipment to actually dig out the ditches, all right? So they can't really help us with the initial clearing of the ditches. That's a different topic that that I have some information. to
My point is establish a dollar amount per acre, or how, a dollar amount per parcel of how much it'll cost, so that it's fair between whoever's going to be there long-term, if it's McQuestion's, if Wilson's, if Alvern, if someone else comes along, and then you could do in lieu of, you know, let's say it's $1,000, in lieu of $1,000, they will, you know, do the ditches, they will do this work up to whatever $1,000 worth of work. So we gotta think long-term, because right now, this is the situation, but that could change in a year, that could change in 2 years, it could change in, you know, whatever.
And we also need a means to get that funding and get it into our budget. We tried that last year, but we pulled back from that, because we have to maintain the ditches in there, and that's gonna cost
So,
the
That's,
guy with the forestry mower,
right,
right,
so.
so,
How does that work with the taxes? Because they're supposed to be paying, if they're selling the crops, they pay the taxes on the land.
Town administrator figures that
yeah.
out. It's $1,000. It's still, McQuestion's still basically paying $1,000.
Yeah.
But they're paying a certain small amount in taxes, and then the $9.75, I think, is.
$9.25.
Is the balance. I think they have to write 2 checks.
But that, what does that do to, if Alvin, I think Alvin's a nonprofit, right?
Right, and any lease has to be signed by the SAU or go through the
Well, not-
SAU.
Because he wasn't doing it individually, it was through the school.
Mm-hmm.
But what is that, I mean, is it gonna be worth it for him to come over here for 3 acres if you take
No.
that away from him? Doesn't seem fair.
And the ditches and whatnot on the two parcels on McQuestion side,
Well,
is that the
Weston
one
wants
with the
to
ditches
use
and we
those
forgot
two
and stuff?
properties.
Is McQuestion willing to do that?
And Alvern wants to use
No, I don't think so.
Across the street.
Well,
across
we-
the street.
I don't know if anybody has
But
gone to
Alvern
McQuestion and
doesn't
asked,
Yeah.
do
asked them to clear ditches
leases.
right now.
That was never a question, because we
Yeah.
always assumed they would
It has,
just,
it has to be approved by the
Yeah.
SAU.
Right.
so they pay like they did
If
for
I were
the
them,
other
I'd just-
property.
It has to be approved by their
Yeah.
school
Yeah.
system.
Then it's worth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever it costs to maintain that property plus the taxes should be covered by the lease,
Right.
especially if they're profiting off the land.
So I never saw the McQuestion lease for this land, okay? I kind of get, so I was involved with the Alvern piece of the lease. So do we have a lease drawn up for McQuestion?
This is what I know. We have a lease with the McQuestons, and we've had for years for the river access property.
I have that one in my
Period.
hand.
In August, I was under the impression that we were gonna get a quick lease with these guys just to hold the town harmless, just in case anything happened. According to Diane, it never ended up getting signed. You see the draft versions,
Yeah,
I think were sent around in an email. I don't think those were ever signed, by Alvern or McQueston. So we've gotta get them signed this year,
Before the,
just to at least cover ourselves.
and then you can
What, to
figure
go
out the funding.
Alvern,
Like soon, like.
But current state, that's what the understanding was, what's on that map is,
oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Okay. So, they have a existing lease for the river, okay, and they pay $9.25 for approximately 10 acres, 10 plus acres. Have we talked about a term, how much money we are going to charge them for this?
No, we haven't, but the DeRochers used to charge them, I think he was getting $1,000 a year, don't quote me on this, but I
Okay,
think it was
roughly.
$1,000 a
Okay.
year. And I don't see us going up.
No,
Up
no,
on that.
that's fine, as long as I have not seen their, in any of the emails, I never get copied on the DeRocher part of it, I was only copied on that, one for Alva, okay? So if we're gonna put it, we can put the same 925, which would work.
Yep,
Now, I just wanna add one thing here, that there was something changed to the terms where this is for the river access, okay, that they made a change for this. The tenant agrees to pay the sum on or before October 31st of 2026. Okay, so they wanna pay at the end of the growing season where they have the money. I just need to make sure I mention that because that's part of the changes that Christie made. And I need to make sure everyone's aware of that. So do we mind them paying on October 31st?
I don't think so.
I know I'll be busy then.
Right now, we're not getting the money anyways.
No, I know.
Oh,
And it-
yeah.
So, okay,
It's
so
got your haunted house that you have to deal with.
on that night. So, hey, okay, sorry.
Make it the November 1st.
All right, sorry, so October 31st is fine. So I was told that this 925, because it's being paid to the town for conservation land, that if we wanted to, we could spend, that 925 and make a request, for that 925 to be paid to us. So we could take that money and pay for the clearing of the ditches. There's just some kind of process, but because it was money from our lease, our land, we can spend it. That's what I was told by Diane, and she said that John said that is correct. So, okay, but we do need to get
Don't know
this,
about that.
we do need to get this
It's so
done,
difficult. Yeah.
right? So,
What about those 2 blue parcels on the west side though?
okay, well, so we need to figure out, where do we stand on this? You know, do we, is the relationship with Alvern, we have a relationship with, you know, the McQuestons, you know, one's a, you know, a business in town, the other one is, you know, a school in another town, a history of farming, I don't know.
My problem is they don't rotate the crops. They, year after year after year, they plant corn, which depletes the soil. So, and I wanna know how that affects Alvern if those two pieces go away.
Right, and as of now, the modified lease, to Alvern has been sent to Alvern, okay? So they have a copy of the lease where instead of payment of money, you know, they agreed to do whatever they can to,
And
Help
does
us.
it include the 3 blue parcels or not?
yes.
It does.
Yeah, I know there hasn't been a contract that's signed, but I think the
No.
expectations were that they
What
were
did you
gonna
say?
get it again, right? If we gotta change that, I
So-
think we gotta change
I,
it.
I have Colt's phone number, I spoke with
And
Colt,
includes all
okay?
three.
And I sent him the email with the modified
Weston
language.
wants you two other.
That I took from you, you know what I mean? And I made sure it was correct, and so I sent it to him, he's bringing it to the SAU.
So I said,
So that lease has the existing parcels as it was, and so if we were to decide that McQuestion should get more land, we'd have to send another lease to him, do you know what I mean? Just to let you know, and we have
What
not
we
sent,
was just a draft that was developed a long time ago, so that, I don't think that's ready for signature. Maybe it is, but.
okay, I have no idea what I'm doing with this, okay? So I was told to edit it, I edited it, and I sent it.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so if,
So the question is what do we do about the two areas? My personal opinion, like right now, is like we're so late in the game
Yep.
this year that it might be just hard to switch gears.
okay, sure.
You know, if Alvern weren't doing a lot with the little small lot that's close to the red line, the 1.5 acre. You know, I don't have an issue with that. That gives them a little more.
yeah,
But the road one, I'm personally like a little more worried about, just like, I mean, being a hayfield, if they're actually haying it, at least it gets cut a couple of times a year. It looks nice. You know, if it's corn, it's gonna, you know, the field will get chewed up and stuff like that. I don't know, I could go either
So-
way, but I want these guys to,
Jason,
keep farming.
so what are you saying? Have Alvern, because it's so late in the year, have them finish what they,
I think, cause like, we've gotta get this sign ASAP, and if,
Right, because they're gonna start, so Colt said that in the next 3 weeks, depending upon drying out, he wants to start spreading manure, or preparing the fields, or doing whatever he needs to do, and I'm sure McQuestion is about the same. So before they actually put equipment on the ground there, we need to have the leases signed. And I know we had that draft one, how do we make that draft thing real?
we'd probably just have to put it back to the town administrator. We put a little line in there that says in lieu of payment, that would have to be just verified with the attorney.
is the acreage specified in there? Cause I think that was one hangup, that the acreage had to be specified in the leases.
God, we're throwing a lot at George.
Okay, hold on.
And George, the other thing that's gotta be specified in the lease is, the grant that we got there, you can't fertilize within 100 feet of a stream, a defined stream, I think it is.
Okay.
I have to take a look at the grant, but.
Fertilizer, biosolids, or pesticides will not be applied within 100 feet of a perennial or intermittent river or stream.
I think the intermittent part might not be part of the grant. So I'll have to just check that out.
Okay,
Or leave it in, it's fine.
okay. So we have this for Alvern. We have nothing for,
I think we do. I think Diane
Oh, she-
did, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't, okay, let's say, when I say we, I say I've never seen it. So, and this one, I don't know if I think I sent it around, the edited copy. I'm not sure if I replied to that email.
Yeah,
So-
you did.
Okay. I just want to make, so this one says, parcel of land, map, yeah, 32 and 35, Exhibit A, so. No, I was just trying to walk between, what Jason had given me and what Diane had, and so I was talking with Diane. So I spoke with Colt, okay, and he's willing to meet me. And actually, as this was going on, I was driving down the road, I saw Ray DeRocher outside working on a snow pile, so I stopped and I talked with Ray. First time I've met him, he's a really nice guy. He's willing to meet and show, I said, I need to know what's going on with these ditches, or we need to know. So some afternoon, we can set up a time with him, and he will show us the ditches. And Colt said that he, could be available for that. He's willing to help us with what he can, but he doesn't have the type of brush hog that would go into on an articulated arm to clear it out. We could also, if we need heavy machinery like a backhoe or something, there are other people in town that we could maybe reach out to clear it out.
Didn't he also say that the SAU, the SAU doesn't lease property?
They don't pay,
They don't pay for lease?
I don't think they pay for leases.
That's what he told me.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yes, yeah.
He didn't say they wouldn't pay. He said that they don't pay right now. I don't think it was the case where he said, we refuse to pay. I think he just said that the land that they're farming right now is leased to them at no cost. Or for $1. I think it was $1 that.
Yeah.
Been a long week.
Yeah,
So sum it up, what would you say? Get the leases out, don't worry about the cost.
Yep.
Get the liability covered, and then
Thank you,
next
Steve.
year,
I will tell you, George, based on the discussion I've had with Diane, and I just sent you an email, there should be 2 draft leases in there.
I see that now, yeah.
Yeah, should be 2 draft leases in there. Those were drafted in August, and it sounds like Diane had put the wording in there that kind of relates to our grant program with the 100 feet. We get those out to both parties for approval. The one hitch is, we discussed in here, in lieu of payment for Alvern, that they would brush hog once a month and do that, this, that, and the other. Last week, I sent you some wording on that off the top of my head,
And I put it right in,
and we put it in there and we sent it over the fence.
right.
That wording needs to be approved by the town administrator and/or
Council.
the town attorney.
Gotcha.
It sounds
So-
legal, what I wrote, but I don't know if it's
Okay.
legal.
So I will take what you just sent me, and I'll take the revisions that McQuestion made for the river, apply them to this one, okay? And I'll send them to Kim Kleiner. Okay?
Sounds good. That's tough.
and then, yeah, long-term, as I was saying, you need to figure out how much an acre of that land is valued at, so that when you have a lease, you can say, let's say Alvern has 10 acres, and we're gonna value at $100 an acre.
And that's
In
what it
lieu
is,
of-
basically.
$100
Yeah,
an acre.
what comes out, so in lieu of this payment, you will, maintain the ditches or whatever
Actually, a
else.
good point.
Okay, I'll okay, I'll do that.
Because who's paying the taxes on that? Does the town get taxed on that?
No, I don't, if
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
paying us, I don't think.
They're supposed to pay, if they sell the goods, they're supposed to pay the taxes.
They aren't selling the goods though.
What do they do?
Alvin's not.
Alvin's not.
The
Okay.
question is-
My question's is, so that'll be different. And then for
It's a
the
barn burner,
and
actually.
for the
900
time being
degrees.
that the lease agreements don't change,
Was
I
it?
guess Alvin will still have those 2 fields for
Yep.
this year.
He-
It's too short in the season, too short.
Right, because he'd already planned on that. So, okay, so Do you want me to change the language to, in lieu of, our standard $100 per acre, you'll provide services to blah, 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 or
I
do you?
think what Steve is saying, we gotta do the math, just like.
Yeah, don't put that in yet. Just next, long-term, I said long-term.
Next year.
Planning, yeah, next year.
Yes.
Okay.
Next year, you're gonna come up with a cost
Yeah.
so that it's consistent between
Well, there'll be a
river
cost.
access, DeRoche's on the left, DeRoche's on the right, and all the different fields. And then you could say, we're gonna charge you this, we're gonna charge you this, but if you do this,
Yep.
$1,000 worth of work to the property, cleaning the ditches.
Strikes again.
But the big thing is getting,
Long meeting.
them signed so there's no liability issues.
Okay, yes.
All right. Circle back up to the top for, talking about officers for, next year.
I have a question on, Rob Grenier. Did you ever vote to remove him? Cause he's on here as an alternate to March of 2027.
We never did. What is the process for that?
Who was it?
Oh, yeah,
Guy joined and never showed up at a meeting, and he's on the list.
I think
Was
what I
that
have to
the
do is
fish
make a
biology?
motion to remove, and then it goes to the selectmen and we remove them, kind of thing.
Okay,
Kinda like a reverse appointment.
Yep.
okay, sounds good.
He hasn't showed up for any meetings?
No.
Ever,
No.
ever.
Do you have that, if you don't show up so many meetings, you?
Yes.
Great.
Oh, yeah, so it's
That's
easy.
he missed 36 meetings.
He's a little over the edge.
So does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to remove alternate Rob Grenier from the rolls. His
I'll
term-
second it.
Term was March 2027.
All right, Joan made the motion, Harry seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
I'm gonna abstain.
6-0-0.
6-0-1.
6-0-1.
Cause if it comes in
Sorry,
front of
Rob.
us, I don't wanna vote twice.
It's gonna show
If
up
you have
next month.
time, come on back. No harm, no foul.
Can reapply for an
Reappointed.
alternate.
He was like a fisheries biologist and working in the Cape and, yeah.
Oh, we gotta complete this.
Sorry. Agenda.
Election.
Should we just get through the other business and
Yeah.
then save the voting for the end? All right, next up, property checks and maintenance. Joan, do you have anything?
Okay, just a question on the garden, the community garden. Who plowed it last year as far as tilling it up the first run?
I think
Corey Flynn.
Corey Flint, yeah. So Riley did it the first year and Corey did it last year.
Mark Riley?
Yeah.
Did it 1 year?
Yeah, Mark did it originally with his big
Oh,
tractor,
with the big, yeah, okay.
and then
Right.
Corey did it last year with his tiller.
Thanks, that's all I have.
Harry?
Nothing.
Michael?
Nothing.
All right, yeah, I don't have anything, so I'll get up to the garden, start taking a look at that. We gotta reassemble the water system, bury the stuff, so we'll get a plan together for that. And I'll reach out to Denise so she can start arranging for, plots and stuff.
Yeah, I had one call from a person to, for a plot. Did we say, we were gonna charge a fee, or what did we decide?
We're gonna look into doing a recommended donation
So,
for it.
no,
So-
well, should we say, 20 or 25 bucks, just if, and it's optional, and they can give more if they'd like.
Yeah,
But we should decide on a number
I
and put
think
it in
the
there.
$20 is good, cause most people, if they do it, will probably give us a little more anyways.
And specify for a plot X by X, X by Y.
40?
Yeah, so we probably have full-size plots and half-size plots, but they're not consistent plot sizes, but we'll figure that out.
So according to Steve, we'll have to figure out a per square foot,
Yeah. Money.
For tax-
Per
taxes.
square foot, yes.
10 cents.
Sorry, you gotta go back 6 inches, you're over your line.
Force
But
people
the
into
dynamics of the
square foot
board have
gardening.
changed.
And they would make that out to the town of Litchfield, correct?
Yes. Right, yeah, it doesn't go to
I
us.
think so.
Okay. good, thanks. Go ahead.
Well, I guess if we could we take cash donations?
Gift card? No, I'm serious, like, what about a Lowe's, is that possible?
I don't think so.
think so.
That's a donate, that's a,
Any
Yeah.
money that comes in has to go through the hands of the
Still talking about the
finance
bees.
director.
no, I'm not talking about bees.
Oh.
Pass the bees.
All right, go back to you. Anything for, property maintenance and checks?
Next month there will be.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta get out there. Steve, anything?
No.
George?
You lied, you did check Parker Park, with me. So we went down there and, checked out the bridges.
You say you lied?
Misrepresented.
Represented,
We
yeah.
do have a maintenance tracking system, so
Exactly.
we've all been
So,
notified.
so, Matt and I checked out, Parker Park because there's a report that we had a loose bridge, or, you know, some bridge was shaky or something like
It's a
that.
little, the north one's a little wobbly in one section,
Where?
in the middle,
Which-
In the middle? Oh,
Well,
that's
no,
just
no,
flex
it's
from
not-
the,
flex, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, the,
It's George's $3,000 phone poles that were crooked.
Okay, so, when I heard loose, I was shaking the,
Oh, yeah, not loose.
the railings and stuff like that to see if, so there's a single border, so we'll take another look. So we couldn't find anything wrong with it, and the trail looked good. We decided that maybe it was one of the foot bridges, you know, the little small ones down the stream, because one of those was a little shaky, but I mean, those were.
yeah, those bridges have not moved at all.
And so we scoped out, potential third bridge locations, because we still have money in the,
Yeah, a little problem with Third Bridge. Where are you going with the Third Bridge?
Over to
Well,
Dreamer's
well-
Farm. We found a place we might be able to do it.
yeah.
Lower down.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, over by the,
Flooded.
over by the trestle. Well,
By
we,
the trestle?
well, actually,
Take a dive.
depending upon the length of that trestle, those, metal bridges over, off of West Road are still there, so they might be, an option. We could go across the trestle if, depending on the
Yeah,
length.
it's kind of, you better have nice, good guardrails. That's quite a drop there.
The trestle is, that's a big gap. I don't think.
We,
can
we
do
need to
that.
know the, I need to,
It's-
well, we need to figure out the length of
It's
that gap.
far. It's
Yeah.
like, you think it's like 30, 40 feet, it's more like 80
Well,
or
Yeah,
something.
it
So,
was-
over on West Road, across from, the Irving, there are, they have a bunch of tractor trailers and stuff in that equipment yard. Well, right in front of them, they have some bridges, and they have chain link fences on the side of them, so you couldn't go over, you know, so they could potentially, span that gap, so.
that'd be cool. Yeah, we should measure it again, but we
They
did
need a
that.
crane. Yeah, we need to measure
The
that.
Dreamers said they wouldn't mind people going over there,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, they said they'd be very supportive
So,
of it.
anyway, so we scoped some locations for the third bridge and possibly a new location for the fish fence on the low end.
Yeah, cause Dreamer's property goes all the way down to the
I know.
river and they have
Two
nice
plateaus.
access to get down there.
So, Dave, if you're around for the fishing derby, or some other time, we can show you where we thought the third bridge could go, if,
It's actually, well, it's gotta be 100+ years old, but there was like an old grist mill in there, so it's all the foundation and stuff for it, all the rocks and stuff there. And that stuff hasn't budged in over 100 years, so it's a
Where?
stable spot.
Downstream from the bridge,
Down,
on
yeah,
the
down,
trestle?
Yeah.
yeah, down,
You gotta go around the bend, you
Yeah.
gotta go down the steep hill and then around the bend, and you can see the
Oh, down
foundation.
the steep hill by the trestle,
Yes,
and then around.
Yeah.
and then just right around, and it sticks right out, there's some sort of abutment there, yeah. It would just be at some point in time, like the grand plan, which would be nice, is if you could somehow connect the Musterfield property with Parker Park. And there's two obstacles. One is the bridge, and two, there's one piece of privately owned property
Yeah.
there.
The one behind the apartments. right?
yes.
Yep. That
And
goes
they
right
don't
to the
wanna
river.
sell.
If we could get an easement or something like that,
Okay, so that's
we'll
all.
cross that bridge when we get there.
That's true.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, do you have anything?
Nope.
Sorry, Steve, this is a barn burner for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
You know what you can do? If you just delete the agenda,
Oh, yeah, we'll be all over the
I
place.
tried to do that, to shorten it, to get stuff on one page, and I took out the non-public one time, and we had a non-public discussion, we couldn't do it, so. I'm hesitant to delete things, except for the equipment, stuff, I delete that stuff all the time.
okay.
Member input?
I think I got everything. I think I'm all set.
Harry?
Nothing.
Michael?
Question, are we gonna do another intern for coming this summer?
We've never been contacted,
the
from,
intern program was only for 1 year.
Just one year?
Yeah, they don't have funding for it this year either.
Okay. Just curious. I don't have, so.
Jason?
No?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Nothing for me.
George?
I've spoken enough.
Joe? All right, next is approval of, meeting minutes.
Make a motion, we accept.
Hang on, Turn the pages.
What?
Okay, go.
I actually read it on the computer.
I'm proud of you,
So, okay, where was I now?
making a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the meeting from
March 5th.
March 5th.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, motion carries,
I'm
Abstain.
abstaining.
yeah,
Four.
404, or 403. Can't do math.
403.
All right, then the last thing we had is, for our next meeting is, May 4th. And now we can go back to the,
To the top.
yeah, to the officer selection for next year.
You need a chair, and you need a vice chair, and a well, no, you have, I guess Joan's gonna
We
stay
have to
secretary.
be re-elected.
All right, I'll put my foot in my mouth. I'd like to nominate George as chairman and Matt as vice chairman.
Second.
What took you so long?
All right, is there anybody else? I don't know, is that all we need, or
And
does
then-
someone else wanna put
You
in their
can,
names, or?
yeah, you should say, does anybody have any nominations for other chairs?
Nominations from the floor.
Any other nominations
Um,
No, for chair,
for,
for chair,
Oh,
for chair,
for
vice
chair.
chair.
no,
all right, any discussion? All right, then do we just do a normal vote for this?
Yep.
All right, so, I guess all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You can vote, George.
I'll abstain.
All right, so
That's-
motion carries, 601.
That's for vice.
Can you hit the gavel for your last time?
Nat for vice chair.
Sure.
Yes.
I think I've only hit it once,
Yeah.
like my first day.
There you
Here we
go.
go.
Yeah,
George, the floor is yours.
Wait, we have to do, oh yeah, the
Yeah.
floor is yours, actually.
Really?
Yes.
what about secretary?
is anybody else?
I know.
Talk to the chair.
Smooth.
Terrible. I'm the worst person you want.
I'd like to nominate Joan.
I second.
Any other nominations?
You're not the chair.
Sorry.
Can I second as a, no,
Yes.
as a,
Yeah, you
as a chair?
You're the chair.
I know, but can I second?
Yeah, you're allowed to vote.
What do I know?
You better start learning.
Because
Right,
we have to make sure that Joan's secretary is legitimate because we went out of order. So a technicality, she could get out of it.
Are there any other nominations for secretary?
Michael, want to be secretary?
Was that a nomination?
No, it wasn't, I was
Okay.
asking. for the question.
Okay, bearing no other nominations, are there any discussions on Joan for secretary?
Secretary.
No discussions? Okay, shall we call it for a vote? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that is, was it 6-2?
601.
601. Congratulations.
You
Yeah.
too.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Yes. So can I'm now, like, I've gone from the kiddie table to carving the turkey.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the middle.
Right.
He'll be right there.
So before we adjourn, can I, as my first action as chairman,
Oh, boy.
Homework.
Going right to his head.
homework. So, I think we should be more proactive with everybody doing a property check, and everyone should become familiar with all of the properties that we have. So I think each month we should rotate property checks, you know, so we have Morris Falls, the river access, Muster Field, Community Garden, Parker Park, Birch Street, DeRochers.
Can we unvote him in?
Soon we'll have Talarico. And we'll have Lonely Fort.
Harry, what did you do?
Hey, you asked for this,
No,
okay?
but I think this is good.
All right, so, does anybody want to volunteer to take a property?
I will take the Musterfield.
I'll take,
Easy.
Go ahead, what are you gonna take?
what's on the,
So we have, Morris Falls, the river access, the community garden, Parker
I'll do
Park.
Moore's Fall, since it's
I'll
tough.
do Nessun Canyon Brook.
And on Moore's Falls, this is is this person gonna be in charge of it every month, or are we
No.
swapping out?
Each month, you do a different property.
Okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
That way, you know, like, who's been to Birch Street, who's walked Lonely Fort, right? So, and that way, if we talk about the property, everyone will know, and everybody has a different lens, you know what I mean, and they see different things.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
one question, the river access,
yeah.
that
It's all paid.
doesn't belong to us, that's the
Yes, it does.
recreation.
No, 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 no.
Conservation land and
Huh?
it's conservation land
And-
It
and they-
is?
Yeah, oh, yeah, we bought it with our hard-earned money.
with the recreation managed.
Man,
You guys are the ones that pushed it through.
Matt, which one did you say you take?
I can do Parker and a community garden.
I'll do river
you doing
access.
Parker? Okay, I'll do Lonely Fort.
I'll take the river access.
Okay.
I mean, I will do river access. No, you give it to Harry.
Okay, river access,
Easiest
RA.
for me.
And Joan, you said Lonely Fort?
Yes.
What's missing?
Okay, wait a minute. Actually, I didn't put you in as a member.
It's all right. You don't have to.
All right, so I have Parker Park, Muster Field, Lonely Fort, River Access, Mines Falls,
Moore's Falls.
Morris Falls. I wrote Mines, Morris, okay?
Stage crossing.
Stage,
We need to do stage
We
crossing.
all need to go
I've
to
never been to
stage
Stage
crossing.
And I don't think we can do that monthly, but we do, actually,
We have to get out there.
this would be a time to do it
I got
within
you
the
as,
next month before everything starts growing up.
And all you have to do is
Yeah.
walk the trail and
Yeah.
take a look.
Take
Have you guys ever done have you ever done?
I've never
stage-
done stage
No,
crossing.
I remember.
I can take stage for this.
There's a parking area off of Albuquerque that's like right at the end of May.
We don't wanna go in that way, it'd be wet this time.
I try to go from there all the way to the library. It's really
But our
wet.
access is between those two condos. That's what,
Okay,
Yeah. To
in
go
the
in.
flat deck.
it's really, you're gonna like it. It's really nice in there. Actually, there's some elevation.
You can put me
Might be
as-
able to put the
me in
Litchfield
Derosha.
ski area in.
You want Derosha?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll walk down around there.
Well, we could go from Albuquerque and come out
Derosha, okay.
20 feet of
at the
vertical.
access.
Yeah.
That'd scare 'em.
what's
So
left? Is everything
Birch
taken?
Street is left. Can you take Birch Street, Mike?
I can take Birch Street.
Okay.
I wanna go to Birch Street because,
Oh, you wanted Birch? I thought you
well,
wanted,
I'll go with somebody, I'm kinda hesitant to go
Are you-
out there.
Well, we can.
didn't you
go
take Lonely Fort? Or did you, okay.
Oh, DeRocher.
I said, I got Derosha.
Oh, cool.
So,
So-
so Aiden is not here,
Just give him one.
and we have everything, I have Telerico. Is it ours yet?
No.
Not ours,
We need to
okay,
talk to
so
Reggie about that, too.
I will put him on Moore's as well, because it's a big one.
What about the Fen property?
Yeah, the poor Fen gets ignored.
What's that?
Um,
Oh, that's the
Garden-
big
Garden
one,
Street.
but
Down-
Okay,
Fen.
he's got the Fen. Garden Street Fen,
Find out.
okay, and I will send out an
I don't
email.
know what they did back in the day, but I don't
So
know.
I just thought this would be a good way to have us all,
Then next month, just move everybody down one.
what, we could do the rotation, or we could, you know, you
Okay,
could
let me know when you're around.
draw cards, or,
Yeah, if,
I think he's bringing up the quarterly performance.
what about next week?
Now, if I put a triangle on my quad, could I
I
take my
gotta go
quad out
discover
there?
Wild New Hampshire Day
And
I can
and I
do
do,
next
I have a
weekend.
spreadsheet to track
next
this,
Saturday.
Well, you can randomize it next month or whatever, or
Yeah.
move it.
I could do that.
okay,
Okay.
sorry,
April
All right.
11th?
11th, yeah. Why don't we do that?
look at that, I'm bringing togetherness already. All right, I think, is that it? Everybody good?
I make a motion, do you have anything else? I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion to adjourn, all in favor?
All right.
Okay, carries 6-0, or is it 7? 6, 7?
7-0, I think
7-0.
everybody's.
Okay, so the meeting has come to an end at
Don't look at that.
8:41.
Oh, yeah, it is
42.
pretty good.
All right, we are done. Thank you.